guys! Welcome to Eco Build a Home Challenge Video 1. In this challenge, you will learn about green engineering through the construction of a green eco-home. It will have many of the aspects of a real home, such as a working wind turbine, LED lights, a solar cell, and more. In this video, we will be building the base of the house using 4 copy paper boxes. You can find these at your local office supply store or anywhere that uses copy paper. Let's get started. First of all, what is green engineering? Well, engineers design and build new things. Green engineers take this one step farther. Green engineers research and choose building materials that are good for the health of people and the environment. Let's take a look at our building material, copy paper boxes, and ask ourselves the same questions that green engineers might ask. Is our building material locally available? If not, you will be using more energy and fuel to transport it to where you are, which is overall more draining on the environment. Are our boxes salvaged or refurbished? Salvaged or refurbished means saving something from going to the landfill and reusing it. We saved ours from going to the recycling center, so that's pretty good. Are our boxes reusable or recyclable? Well, we practically already answered that question. Because we saved the boxes from going to the recycling center, they're obviously recyclable. So if we get bored with our project, all we would need to do is disassemble it and recycle it. So yes, I think we chose a pretty good building material. Let's start by taking 2 of your copy paper boxes and removing the lids. We'll use them later. This will be our base of the home. Remove one of the side labels from the end of one of the boxes. This will make our adhesive stick better. Then we will take this box, and we don't need to take off the label, but we can lift up this part of the box carefully, this little flap. And it might rip a little bit, but that's okay. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to glue right here, and glue right here, and we're going to stack them on top of each other. And then this back part is going to shore up against the other back part, and that's going to make it really reinforced. Let's start gluing. Green engineers keep in mind indoor air quality, IAQ, when choosing their adhesives for their projects. Does the adhesive we choose give off any toxic fumes? For my adhesive, I chose non-toxic school glue because some glues let off toxic fumes in the environment and aren't very good for the environment, whereas this one is good for people and the environment. So be aware for the environment when picking out an adhesive for your project. Now we're just going to stack these boxes on top of each other like so. And make sure they're like reinforced like that. All you need to do is lay the boxes on their backs like this. Put a few books in the one that is being overlapped by the flap. And put a few clothespins on this inside part so that they glue together and they don't like squish apart and stuff. And then you wait for them to dry. Now that we have the first 2 boxes assembled for the first floor, I'll show you how to add this 3rd box for the second floor. We're going to pry open this part again. And then that's for when we put it on here, then this is going to be extended. Now let's start gluing again. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take this whole bottom part right here, and we're going to glue it just onto this part. So I'm just going to get this all glued right here. And then we're just going to apply it. And you might want to make sure you get this flap too, because that'll add more support. And then when you want to put it down,
When I lined up this box on the top here, then I just used 3 fingers on the side. If you have bigger fingers than mine, then you might want to choose a different way to measure it out, or if you have smaller fingers too. But I'm just using this right now as a benchmark. It seems to work okay. Now the way that we can stick this section together while it's drying is we can probably add a little bit of weight on this part right here, because it's got more support because of this intersection right here. And then we probably don't want to put that much weight on here because it'll bend down, so then we'll just use clothespins on this side. Also, if this back corner right here is popping up a little bit like mine, then you can just use a little bit of tape while you're waiting for it to dry. And you do not want to glue this part, so you want it to be more mobile for your later use. While this is set aside waiting to dry, I'll show you how to prep this next box for creating the roof. I'm going to make 3 cuts today. I'm going to cut from the bottom up to this corner, then I'm going to cut from this short side, and then down to this long side and stop here. I'll show you why later. Now today for cutting these lines, I'm going to use a scissors. Now this is what your box should look like once you're done cutting. Now, I'm going to show you how to put on the roof for this project. This part gets a little tricky, so I asked my brother to help me hold something. Now, this part is going to be the tip of our roof, so we want this to be like straight up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this side and just line it up on here so that the tip is going straight up. And then make sure that this side is lined up by 3 fingers again. And if you have different sized fingers, then you can adjust it depending. And then he's just going to hold this part right here while I go over here. Now while my brother's holding that side, I'm going to come over to this side and show you what I'm doing. So basically we need to have this part so that if we have it straight down over here, then it will turn into a wall and go down here. So I just created a bend right here so that it will go from a roof into a wall really smoothly. While my brother was holding the roof into place, I decided to make the mark where I needed to make the fold to turn the roof into the wall. How I'm going to make this fold really straight is I'm going to put a book right here, and then I'm just going to bend this upward. And then that's going to make a really straight fold because it just goes along the edge of the book. Now that everything else is dry, I can put on the roof. That task is easiest if you put everything on its back like this. I'm just going to smush this part over here, like so. Then I'm going to make sure that this side has 3 fingers, which now it does. So now I'm going to make my line right here. So now anything that is below this line I can put glue on. Time for more glue! So we're just going to apply a bit like a Pop-Tart here. And then we're going to smush these together right here, making sure that I line up with that line that I made before. Apply a little pressure. So once you've first glued, you want to apply pressure right here so that it won't move. And that'll hold it down and make sure that it stays together most tightly. Then you want to make sure this part is straight right here. It doesn't matter if this part isn't touching this bend that we made earlier, but we'll fix that later. And then we want to make sure that this lines up over here so that we can glue it on this side. So I'm going to glue over here on this vertical part. Like so. And then we're going to glue it right here. And then we clip. And you can adjust if needed too. If this side part keeps popping out like mine, you can put some tape on temporarily to make sure that it stays down a little more. This structure is really taking shape.
In this video, we learned that green engineers consider the health of people and the environment when choosing building materials. Green engineers prefer materials that are local, salvaged or refurbished, and can be recycled. And we learned that green engineers consider indoor air quality, or IAQ, when choosing adhesives. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to add more stability to your structure by adding a few more walls and supports. I'll also answer any questions you leave for me in the comments. Happy building, and we'll see you next time.